Hey, I'm Jamie Lewis. Welcome to Deadbeat Studios. Today, we're going to be pitting these two amps against each other. I know you can't see them that well, but right here, I've got the Darkglass M series. I'm sorry, the Combo 500 series. This one on my left is the Microtubes version. This one over here is the Infinity. Now, I've already done specific, like, independent demo videos where I unbox these. I explored them for maybe 45 minutes or an hour. So I know what the Microtubes can do. I know what the Infinity can do. Now, what we're going to do in this video is I'm going to play the same examples through both of them and essentially see if there's one that shines over the other in any particular scenario. So like we'll dial in a tone on the Microtubes, I'll unplug everything, run it over to here, and dial in, I try to get a similar sound or a better one. And then we'll kind of A-B between the two and, you know, pick a winner for each song. We've got, rock with a pick, we've got slap, we've got country even. So I've got several different genres that we're going to check out. And also in this room over here, I know you can't see me, but I'm in the other room right now. I've got one of the 210 combos that has a mic on it. So we'll also compare the mic'd up cab versus, what we've got in the box here. Now, let me just say really quick before we get started, these are different units. They have some different features. And so it's not really going to be an apples to apples comparison because, like, for instance, let me see if I go to this screen. This is an analog amp right here. This one's digital. So you can see we've got the graphic EQ and why isn't anything happening? Oh, yeah, LEDs that light up and stuff, whereas this one is pure analog circuitry. So, they've got a few differences between the two. Also, I was noticing on the back here, I can't show you because of the way the camera's pointed, but there's a few different features that the Infinity has that, aside from like, an octaver and some other effects, but maybe different sounding distortions. But it's also got two DI outputs on this one. One for post DI and one for pre. We're just going to use the post DI because that's what this one is. I've got the post switch engaged. So we will just be comparing the two together. I understand why this one has it. I'm not going to use those features today. What else do we have here? Obviously this one's got MIDI and USB, whereas this one doesn't because there's no computer controls for it. So they're not exactly the same, but I think it'll still be a cool enough comparison to see which one can I dial in a tone faster or which one's more appropriate for the genre, or are they the same? Can you get equally amazing results with either one? That's exactly what we're going to do in this video. So let's just go ahead and get started. Oh, and also I'm sure you've noticed, so I've got these two amps kind of pointed away from each other so that the center can line up with the screen. So, I know it's not perfect, but it's the best I can do. If the controls were on the front, I could have stacked them on top of each other and thrown a camera that way. So I'm doing my best here to show you guys everything that I can. So yeah, let's get started. Here's the first one. I'm going to turn the track off and just play. This is a very simple bass line, playing like driving eighth notes with a pick. Think Weezer, just like straight up rock and roll. So right now we're plugged into the Microtubes. So let's try this one first. I know it's quiet at the moment, but I'll gain it up. Actually, let's compress it first. I really like the way this compressor sounds when that light's just blinking nonstop. Let's add some low end maybe. Oh, there's some boom. A little bit of 3K. I actually like where this is at, scooping out 500. A little bit of top end. Not bad. Let me loop that one more time. I'm going to add a little bit of overdrive. There we go. Blue channel versus red channel. I'm going to go with the red channel for sure. Yeah. So it's got plenty of dirt, plenty of grit to it. Not too much. The top end isn't, spiking you like, sometimes with this kind of music. Sometimes the bass player really likes to crank up the treble and it's like chalkboard, scratching. Okay, so I think that's a pretty good sound for this one. Didn't take that long to dial in. And also, let me say this. If you want to, I didn't explain the process of how the compressors and all that stuff work because I already did that in another video. So if you want to watch the individual demo unboxings of this one and of this one separately, where I figure out what all the knobs do and explore them, I'll have links to that in the description. But I'm going to go much quicker because I kind of know my way around these amps a little bit already. So one more time, here's the tone we've got. I'm going to bring in the track. Okay, all right. So I'm sure you guys notice I'm reamping old performances. That way I can get identical performances on each of these amps. So when I switch it over in just a second, I won't be playing it differently. Because keep in mind that you can start playing on this one. You're like, oh, it sounds good. You go over to this one, you play with a lighter touch or any variable is different. And then it's like, oh, I like this one better. Well, you played it differently the second time also. So we won't have that bias. It'll be identical performances on each one. I dig it, and it didn't take long to dial in at all. I started with the compressor to get the level nice and matched, added some body, took care of the top end, threw on a little bit of dirt, and it didn't take me long to get going. I only have 2 distortion options. I liked the red over the blue. I'm going to do the same exact process now for the Infinity cabinet. Let me drop my cable. This is going to take just 1 second. Sorry if I ever cause your headphones or your speakers to pop. Not what I'm trying to do. Okay, so this one has presets on it. So let's just go ahead and use that to our advantage. Let's see if I can just press play, scroll through the presets and get something that helps me as a starting point, and I can just adjust from there. I kind of already know the sound I'm looking for, so let's cycle through the presets and see what we get. Turning off the track. Not that one. If I pull the input gain all the way down, this one's actually not that far away, because it's doing a lot of the same stuff that the other one was. It's almost an identical patch. Maybe the drive's a little bit harder. But yeah, if I cycle through the input gain and pull it down, because as you can see, here's the wave file right there where it says no blindfold. I can't show you my mouse. Hold on. Here's somewhere. Yeah, here's the wave file we're looking at. So you can see this bass has a really, really hot output. So I do need to pad it a little bit, but not very much. Let me try that again and see if the gain stage is good. Nah, we're close. Okay, that's not bad. Now I can drive this side harder. Okay, now I'm not gonna lie. This one compared to the other one, it's I can't A/B them because you saw how long it took me to switch the cable back. But just going off of what I remember the other one sounded like and being happy, I just had to hit 2 buttons. That's the second or third preset. Yeah, third preset sounds pretty close to the other one. Let me listen in context. Yeah, pretty spot on. I'm gonna assume the red distortion here is the same as, oh, I'm sorry, is the same as the red channel here instead of the blue one. I don't know that for sure, but they sound very similar to my ears. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna let it play through. I'll jump over to this screen so you can actually watch me playing. And you'll see me over here. I'm gonna unpatch it and run it into this one and see if we get what I'm looking for. Hold on, before I do that though. I forgot I did drive the input harder. So let's go back up to kind of where we were. And let's pad the input here. Okay, all right. So we're going to start out with the Infinity, and then, I don't know, after about 5 or 10 seconds, I'm going to patch in this one. Okay, of course it always stops. I forgot. I can only play clips of these songs. That one's called No Blindfold. We actually recorded that here at Deadbeat Studios. But I have to stop these after 20 or 30 seconds. Otherwise, I get dinged for copyright on my own music. It's bullshit. Okay, so honestly, here's after I play each example, I'll go ahead and I'll give a few thoughts. And at the end, I'll try to do a wrap up. But my first gut impression is telling me this is the one I want on the gig. This is the one I want in the studio, at least for this song. I could dial in both of them pretty easy. Not knowing anything about this amp, I was able to start with the compressor, EQ, gain with the distortion, and in like 20 or 30 seconds, I had a sound I wanted. With this one, I just had to cycle through and find the one that I wanted, be like, oh yeah, that's a good starting point, and then I barely touched it, and I got almost a comparable sound. So technically, I got the Infinity one, the Infinity tone faster. However, like you'll notice I'm twisting this knob and nothing's happening, or maybe you can't see that. So there's a red light that's over here around 3 o'clock at the moment, and I'm twisting this and nothing's happening. I have to go past. Okay, so you can see now these ones are lit up. Now I can bring it back, right? So that's just something that's particular to this amp because, you know, that's a feature on this digital amp. You got to kind of know how to interface it, maybe crack open that manual or something like that. And this is just my opinion. When it comes to playing live, I want as little variables as possible, because when something starts to go wrong, I didn't say if, I said when something starts to go wrong, I'm checking cables. I'm checking, do I have a volume pot that's scratchy? What, like, I'm running, because we're mid-song, right? I don't have time to stop and, guys, hold on, wait, my amp's not working. You know the position I'm talking about. You've been there before. So when shit starts going wrong, I just want to find an answer really quick. And I'm sitting here going, oh, these lights aren't twisting. What's going on? Why isn't this? And I start hitting buttons. Well, you really got to know your gear and all the things it can do and all the ways it can go wrong and all the ways that you can troubleshoot it, right? That's true for every gear. If you give me less things, I'm going to not mess them up. You know what I mean? So for live, I'm probably definitely choosing this one because I didn't have any trouble getting the tone, even though I did get this one faster, but that's only because I know how this amp works. If I didn't know how it works, I'd have to crack open the manual. And again, we don't have time to do that mid-song. So studio, this one's the winner. Live, this one's the winner. Let's do some more rock, but a different style. This one's going to have a little bit of slapping to it. Same thing. We'll start with the Microtubes. No. Let's start with the Infinity. We'll do the opposite this time. That's probably going to happen every single time. Chris from the bass channel just texted me. Would Wednesday be a possibility? Perhaps. Let me turn off my phone and get back to you later, Chris. In case you haven't noticed by now, this is very informal. I'm just messing around, and hopefully within an hour, I'll know which one of these amps is the one that I would want to keep. And maybe you'll find that out too, but we'll get there together. Okay, I'm turning the track off. We're going to start with the Infinity. Let me spend some time dialing in a tone for this, and then we'll see what we get. just check the gain over here. If you want to know what bass this is from a concert I played back in 2019 with Shim, and this is a Gibson Grabber. I know the camera doesn't stay on me for very long, but you should be able to get a good shot of it in just a second. Come on, where am I? No? There we go. 1976 Gibson Grabber. Sorry, I wish I was the videographer, but I'm not. All right, that was kind of a waste of time. All right, so I'm going to let this just repeat itself. I'm going to dial in a tone and see what we get. Go back to the loud part. This one's the closest so far. Okay, so there's the dry signal. Okay, so now remember with this one, we don't have the 4-band EQ. We've got the graphic. So I'm going to play around with the graphic EQ a little bit and get it a little more scoopy and a little more slice in it. I like the way it's not as dirty as the last track was. I just want a little bit of overdrive for this one. One more time. Dipping this one. Check the gain really quick. Oh yeah, we're distorting. Okay, I'm gonna come back to here one more time. I'll start from the top. The amp's not distorting, but my preamp is on the converter because it's too hot going out. Oh, that's an overall volume for the preset. Okay, that's good to know. Let me just try a different overdrive. This bass has too quiet of an output. So it's not driving very hard. I actually like that better. Not bad. Okay, let me pull in the track. Let's hear that same exact section. See how it's blending with the live band. Just want to see what that button did. Okay, not bad. So, you know, we took a little bit longer than I wanted to, but that's kind of the whole point. This amp has a lot more features to it. So there's a lot more, let me see what this does. Let me see what this does. I started with the purple distortion. Red is the one I ended up with purely because this Gibson Grabber has such a low output. You can see we're cranked here. The level is backed off quite a bit, but I just couldn't get enough drive out of it. I probably could have hit the input gain a little bit harder too. But, you know, here's where we ended up. I'm happy with it. Let's see how long it takes to dial in an acceptable tone, maybe not the same one, but an acceptable tone with the Microtubes version of the amp. So let's back it up, mute the track. Yep. Start off blended all the way here. Not bad. Let's check out the overdrive. Yeah, nice and crunchy. Let me pull down the gain a little, or pull up the gain. Man, they don't make them like they used to. Let me check this amp one more time. You can see it, I mean, it's really sensitive with that treble knob, especially with the 3K boost I'm already doing. I think that's pretty close. Let's check with the track. See what we get. There's the pick. By the way, in case you guys didn't know this, Shim and I are going back. Oh, Shim's going on tour. I am joining him. Does this mute anything at all? No. There we go. Now the buzz is gone. I'll put a link down below to the tour dates. We're doing 6 weeks from October 3rd, sorry, is the first show. November 17th is the last one. I believe there's 30 or 35. We almost aren't taking any days off. So it's South and Midwest only, and East Coast. We're going up to New Hampshire. So anyways, I'll put a link to the dates when this goes out. If you're in any of those cities and you want to come hang out and see the show, please do. It'd be awesome. Now, let me say this. For this one, I'm choosing the Infinity, even though I just got done saying, give me less options. And when live, this is the one I would want. However, if you've never played a Gibson Grabber before, let me tell you, it's a dog shit instrument. And if you do play one and you like it, you agree with me. It's not the easiest instrument to play. It doesn't have the most tonal variety. It's just cool. It's a cool sound. And you feel awesome when you're playing it. You'll see what I'm talking about if you ever pick one up. But like versatile, it is not. Easy to play, it is not. The best sounding instrument, come on. It's got a unique sound, and that's what it does. So because of the graphic EQ and because of the input gain, yeah, because this one doesn't have input gain. I'm sure the distortion sections are very similar, if not identical. I don't know what they are between these two amps, but they sounded close to my ears. The compression, I didn't have a hard time dialing it in because it's just one knob, right? So as far as that is concerned, they were both just as easy. But I've only got a 4-band EQ, and I was having a hard time balancing with the treble knob and the 3K, because when I'd be slapping boo doo da doo doo da doo doo da doo doo da, all of my plucks were just killing me on here. So you probably noticed I was padding this and doing that, and then when I switched to playing with a pick, I was like, oh, the slice is gone, right? So with a 4-band EQ, I wasn't able to sculpt it the way that I was able to do this with the graphic EQ, right? And there's just, I was able to do more with this one because it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bands. Yeah, it's either got 6 bands or 5 in a master volume or something like that. Whatever it is, I had more. I was able to scoop away more of the bass than I wanted, more of the mids, and pump more of the presence in the places that I wanted to with this one rather than with this one. So for this particular example, definitely the Infinity is the winner because, like I said, the instrument is not as good. Right? The instrument is more limited, and so I was able to do more with this one. But I also didn't think I had a hard time dialing anything in on the Microtubes. It just took longer, and I wasn't able to get as far with it. Let's jump over to some slap. Oh, you know what? Hold on. Let me do this. Let me go. No. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna mic up this cabinet because that's definitely something that I would do on rock music. I would probably for sure mic up a bass cab rather than going DI. So let's hear the ones we just heard. I'm not going to touch anything, but I am going to do this. So check this out. The way I'm routing this is because there's not an easy way to disconnect the the head from the speaker. At least on the back, I can't see like a speaker cable being routed to the speaker. So what I would want to do is unplug this one from the 12-inch speaker and run it to the 210 that's in my other room. But there's not an easy way to do that. I could have grabbed a screwdriver and taken things apart and maybe figured it out, but I found a workabout way that's going to do it. So both of these cabinets, both of these combo amps have a send and return for the effects loop. All right. So what I'm going to do is I've got this cable right here. You can see is plugged. If you can't see it, it's right there. It's plugged into the send, and I'm going to do the same thing from this amp. And that send is going to run into the input of this amp over here through the line input that's in the back. So it's not going to be the same exact thing as plugging in a bass because we are going line level, but it's line level out of this amp, post effects and everything, into the line in. It should be pretty close. So that way we don't have to worry about miking up 2 different speakers. They're not going to be the same. Every time you move the mic, it's going to change a little bit. So this is the best way I could figure out how to do it. So let me just head over into this room over here. All I got to do is plug in this XLR cable. Hold on. Okay, now I'm back. So let me just double check my patching really quick. We are listening to this Microtubes combo head running line out into this speaker. Technically, it should work. Let me double check. Turning the track off, just the bass. Let me just adjust the volume in here. There we go. Okay, let me gain it up a little bit. Okay, so what we are hearing right now, oh, sorry, I was in the other room. So what we're hearing right now is this Microtubes head coming out of that one, this 210. I'm screwing up all my numbers. Let me say this, there is a little bit of buzz, and that's probably just because we're going from line level back into it, and also I'm running like a 20-foot cable. So, again, it's not perfect, but it's the only way I could make sure that we'll hear both of these out of the same speaker with the same mic placement. Let me come back over here and pull in the track. All the way through. Okay, I'm gonna switch them over now. I like this one more. Damn. I miss those boys. What's that sound? I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna leave this cable over here for now. Okay, so as I was saying, this time coming out of the speaker, I changed very little the settings. Like we started out totally where I left it, and then you know, I just kind of tweaked some things from there. I gotta say, this one sounded better because the top end that I was saying, oh, it's just way too piercing. Well, it wasn't an issue. Look at how much I had to crank it up. When we were listening DI, it was like down here. And with the cabinet, I was able to crank it up more because the speaker's not putting out the same sizzly top end that the DI signal is. So I was able to get more out of the amp because of where the mic's placed. And so, yeah, I got a more even slice between the slap and the pick that, I don't know. I don't want to say it wasn't the same here, but then I felt like I had less control. Look at what I was doing over here. I was trying to get... I pulled out all of the low mids because, you know, a speaker cabinet's going to have more woof to it, especially because of how close I have that mic placed. We get some proximity effect. So this amp, I wasn't getting as much woof from it, and it helped having the speaker. And this one was getting too much, and I had to pull out more of it. So, you know, I could take either one in the amp case. I don't want to say... I was able to get acceptable results with both of them, but definitely the Microtubes was easier. Let's jump over to some slap, and I'm going to go back to playing DI because I wouldn't mic up a cab for playing slap tones. So give me 1 second to get this mic. Unplug this. Okay, starting off with the Microtubes because it's already plugged in. Oh, that's noisy. Okay, where's that noise coming from? I don't know. Oh, it's because of all the overdrive we're doing. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, slapping. I'm going to turn off the track. And let's see. This bass right here is a Sterling by Musicman short scale Stingray. Again, very, very quiet output. So let me turn up the gain a bit. Okay, let me level everything out. Wow. That's a very quiet bass. We are on the passive setting. Ooh. Okay, a little bit of treble is going a long way. A little 1.5 boost. And I'm really liking this knob right here. This 500 dip. You can just pretty much leave it flat the whole entire time and not have to touch it. That's pretty sweet. One more time. I know it's pretty quiet, so I'm going to gain it up now. Or actually, let's see if we can add some overdrive to do that for us. We'll try out the blue channel. Okay, now I don't know if it's just me and I'm preferring the sound of the red overdrive over the blue, but check this out. I'm driving the hell out of it. It's a low output instrument, so it's probably not driving that hard, but then I'm keeping the level low and the blend more on the clean side. This is a way of using distortion as a compressor. It's more of a saturator and a leveler rather than like full-on driving distortion. So watch, if I turn the overdrive off, plenty full, plenty smacky. But we get a little bit more sustain. Barely. It's barely noticeable, but the dynamics are leveled off a little bit more. Yeah, it's just a little bit fatter. Not bad. I could take it clean or with this distortion, but just barely. Let's try adding in the track and see what it sounds like. She always makes me like. We got that motivation. You know what? Hold on. Let me check the volume because I'm pretty sure we need to gain it up. She always makes me like. We got that motivation. Here's without the distortion. Bring the overdrive back in. Yeah. She's got the hustle that makes the money move. Okay, all right, so that's what we're getting from the Microtubes. The distortion or not, you know, I thought both of them were pretty cool. Let's go ahead and swap this out for the Infinity, and I'll do the same thing. We'll start clean. Let's start on a clean setting, and then we'll dial from there. And I do need to back off the gain of the preamp, because the Infinity is running everything a little bit hotter. I'm sure there's a reason for that I can't think of. Oh, well, obviously, yeah, it's the input knob right here. You can have a variable how hot you want the signal going into it. So that also affects the overdrive, so I can't really run it quieter because then it'll affect our drive signal, probably. That's what I'm guessing. All right, let me turn off the track, and let's dial in a slap tone here, starting with presets. Definitely don't need the octaver. Yeah, so you can see all the blue ones. I have to move out of the way until they react the way I want them to. Not bad. Let me keep going. Pretty solid for clean. I'm liking the yellow distortion for this, for the saturating that I was talking about. Dry. Okay, let's pull in the track.
So that makes the money move.
Man, okay, so this one, very interesting again. I thought that I was going to like the Microtubes better because it didn't take long to get the slap sound that I wanted, and it sounded great. However, I think where we ended up with the Microtubes is even better. Let me just double check. Let me come back over to, I'm sorry, I think I said that backwards. The Infinity is the one I like the most, but let me double check with the Microtubes and just make sure.
She always makes me like.
Yeah, I had an easier time getting the sound I wanted on the Infinity. It definitely felt like it sounded better with the distortion than it did with the clean. So like I wasn't able to get the graphic EQ to put it where I wanted it to be, but I was able to dial this one in faster. Okay, so that's kind of been the case with all these so far. It's like, oh, I can get what I want faster here. But then when I come over here and I spend a little more time, maybe twice as long. I haven't looked at the time codes, but I'm not spending more than, I don't know, 20 to 40 seconds maybe on each one. It's probably more than that. You guys are watching. You can look at it. But I feel like just a little bit more time on this one, and then I'm able to get the sound that I'm actually looking for. And the yellow distortion definitely sounded better than the red distortion. This one's only got two, off, blue, and red. This one you can see there's yellow, blue, red, purple, and none. So the yellow distortion was definitely the right for the saturation I was talking about here. Having this variable input definitely helped me to set the overdrive, and the compressor, yeah, we were technically compressing it less than we were over here. This one's almost maxed out. And again, because I can't adjust the input value on the way in, I was just able to get the compressor more reactive, the overdrive the way I wanted it. And then again, the smiley face made it easier to find the frequencies I wanted to boost and cut the ones that I wanted to cut. Whereas the 4-band EQ was helpful. I'm pretty much left that one there this whole time, and a 1.5 boost, a lot of top end. This isn't a terrible bass, but it's not a great one. So, you know, keep all that in mind. But for sure, I thought I was going to like this one more. I ended up liking this one, but it took me longer because there's more variables. So which one's for you? I didn't have a hard time on either one. But definitely I'd say this one was the winner. Plus it's got this built-in tuner right here. I forgot how to get it to go on. Do I like hold both of these down or something? I could do something and get a tuner on there. And actually maybe pushing that is what does it. Yeah, so now that I'm thinking about it, this one here, if you own the amp and you know it and you've read it and you know what all the things do, which you should for gear that you're touring on, this one's the winner, I think, even in a live scenario, because it just does more. It's got a tuner, all the bells and whistles I've been talking about, whereas this one is kind of like easy throw and go. So okay, check this out. If I'm in the studio and I know what I want and I just need an amp that can dial in pretty easily, I'm thinking the Microtubes one. If I'm taking it on the road and I know everything about it, I think this is the one I'm taking. But I'll throw this caveat in there. If there's a third category, which is a person who doesn't play either of these, and my amp broke and I'm in the band that's playing before you, and you're like, oh, hey, you could just use this one, right? Imagine you're in that scenario. It's not impossible. It happens all the time. Not all the time, but it's happened before. I would much rather have this is the one that the person hands me. It's like, oh, thank God. An analog amp, I can just set it. Okay, that'll get me through the night. So I think those are my three scenarios based on at least these three songs that we played through. Let me do one more. This one is this is some country music. We're going to play both kinds. Let me roll the track, or no, let me roll the bass without any track. I say it's country. It's Dolly. And I'll say something about this in a second once we start playing. You know what? I'm also going to mic up the amp for this one because it's country music. That's close to rock. That's the genre where we might want to mic up a cab instead. Yeah, I'm going to do it. 2 seconds, y'all. Hold on. I'm coming right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Tell me in the comment sections how much you hate this video. Or how much you love it. So now we're running the Microtubes straight into that amp over there, but we're not hearing it because I have to plug in the send. Why is that so quiet? Oh, because, okay, this P bass. Okay, let me say this really quick. So, what I'm about to play is a clip from one I played on The Tonight Show on Jimmy Fallon with a Dolly Parton tribute act. So this was a rented P bass. I didn't buy this instrument. I didn't bring one. So it has a very, very quiet output, almost non-existent. So give me a second to gain it up on my end. Let's give it a solid. All right, there we go. That's much better. Okay, let me dial in a tone. A little bit of low mid, 500 maybe. It's a little squashed, but that's okay. Same thing, just using the overdrive to get a little bit of sustain and saturation out of it. That's a pretty solid bass line, bass tone. Hey, bass line's not bad either. The distortion, I don't think, is adding anything that I need, so I'm going to leave it out for now. Okay, I'm going to pull in the track and let's see what it sounds like. Here we go. Just crying my heart out, feeling sorry. Don't say I never gave you both kinds of music around here. Okay, let's jump over to the Infinity channel. Again, this is coming out of this 210 speaker over here with a Beta 52, kind of where the center of the cone meets the edge. So here's the center of the cone, and then here's the edge. I like to put the mic right there. Gives it the best tone. Let me mute the track, do that same process over here. Come on. Again, come on. I like that I'm able to bump that out right there. Hit it harder with the compressor. Let me double check my gain. Okay, let's pull on the track and see. What do we got here? All right, this one's splitting hairs, but I'm going to say the Infinity wins for this one. Yeah, I just felt like I was able to get a full, deep pocket country sound faster. And again, the graphic EQ, man, you can't go wrong. You're able to be way more, if you know what you're looking for, if you know what you're trying to sound like, it's much easier to get what you want using a graphic EQ than it is with just a static 4-band where you can have either 2 frequencies for your low and your high mids, but hey, graphic EQ wins. So for this bass, it's a P bass playing country. It didn't need that much, but I was able to do more with this one than I was with this one. So we've done 4 things. We did some country. I know that's not really country, but it's country-ish. We did slap, and we did 2 different types of rock with a pick and with some slapping. So I think I'm ready to tell you what I think of these. And I know I've kind of, as we've filmed this video, as we've been going along, I've kind of been dropping clues, but I'm going to go with the last thing I said. I think the Infinity is the winner for if you're a tweaker, okay? If you like to have options and how about this, how about this, how about this? Obviously, this one's got more between all the different functions. And like I said, the things in the back, the 2 different DIs, processed and unprocessed. We didn't even touch the cab sims. So, you know, more bells and whistles on this one. Whereas this, straight up, and I had 0 problems dialing in a tone. In fact, on all the ones where we started with this one, what did I say most of the time? I was like, I think the Microtubes is the winner. It was so easy to dial in a tone. It wasn't until I came over to here and was like, let me try out some of these presets, let me this, let me tweak here. And I got a tone that it was either as good or maybe was better for some reason, for whatever I said. But it took longer. Right? So for ease of use, if you're like me, if you're not a tweaker, if you don't like twisting a bunch of knobs to find a tone, for sure, the Microtubes is the one for you because no frills. I mean, okay, there's frills, right? There's 2 different distortions and compression. Like, it's got stuff. 4-band EQ, totally usable. It's what you need. But if your bass is quieter and you want to adjust the input a little bit differently, like, well, you only get active and passive. You don't get this control. If your bass is a little bit honky and you need to scoop out a specific frequency, you won't find it maybe on the 4-band, but you can get it with the graphic EQ or whatever it is. So I'm going to say they were both acceptable for everything that I ran through them. And you can go watch, I'm sure at the beginning of the video you saw when I said this one wins, this one wins. I'd say it's a tie in terms of, can you get good sounds with both? Yeah, I didn't have any problem dialing in specific sounds. But which one is the winner? It's the opposite of what I thought it was. Initially, I was like, this one for stage, this one for studio. I'm flip-flopping that. This one's the better one for stage. This one's the better one for studio because of how I play. But, you know, your whatchamacallit, your situation, your standards could be totally different from mine. So the best thing you can do, honestly, is get your hands on both of these units and shoot them out yourself. If that's something you want to do, you want to check these cabs out, there is a link in the description for both of them. I'm not sure where because I haven't set up the affiliate links yet, but wherever you shop, I can guarantee you'll find links to these below. I get a very, very small micro commission. So if you do end up picking one of these amps up using my links, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thanks for watching in general. I appreciate you being here. And thanks again. See you next time.